Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. Today is going to be another day of two topics that I'm going to include into this one video. The first topic is 7 common misconceptions about addiction intervention, and then I wanted to also add 7 myths about addiction they could stop if they wanted to. These are just myths, 7. As always, I want to talk about or read the declarations by Joel Osteen, 31 promises to make throughout the lifetime. And I had said in the beginning of introducing this book that I would do the next 31 shows. Today is show number 24, and today is the 24th declaration. And it reads as follows. I declare I will speak only positive words of faith and victory over myself, my family, and my future. I will not use my words to describe the situation. I will use my words to change my situation. I will call in favor good breaks, healing, and restoration. I will not talk to God about how big my problems are. I will talk to my problems how big my God really is. This is my declaration. I'm going to read it again because this is a really good declaration. I declare I will speak only positive words of faith and victory over myself, my family, and my future. I will not use my words to describe the situation. I will use my words to change the situation. I will call in favor good breaks, healing, and restoration. I will not talk to God about how big my problems are, but I will talk to my problems how big my God is. This is declaration number 24 for show number 24 out of 31 promises to make throughout your lifetime by Joel Osteen. Folks, this was a really good one because it kind of says it all, and I hope you paid attention, and I hope maybe possibly you'll find some wisdom within those words. As always, I want to just shout out to a couple of my sponsors. The first one being Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, 844-414-8444. Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, mn.com, StartingPointMN.com. The MN stands for Minnesota. Dr. Luis Gonzalez has 2 particular entities that I speak about constantly. The one is what I do, which is addiction recovery coaching. He will walk with you from your addiction, let me adjust the screen, from your addiction to your recovery daily, 24 hours at a time into tomorrow. He will never ever, like myself, talk about your past or your situations that happened that might have been negative in the past. He is a addiction recovery coach like I am. He is not a doctor. I mean, he is a doctor, but he's certainly not a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor. That is Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com. You can also reach out to him if you want to become an addiction recovery coach like I am. He has an excellent educational program if you have passion, professionalism, and personality. And if you have some addiction of your own, whether it's your own battles, maybe a family member's battles that you've been helping with, call him, 844-414-8444. Want to shout out to you people that wear glasses, sunglasses, globaleyeglasses.com. That's www.globaleyeglasses.com. Global Eyeglasses. They are focused on saving you money. They have glasses between all the way from $6 to $49 approximately. Those frames include single vision, plastic, non-coated, regular prescription lenses. Now, if you want to get progressives, you want to get bifocals with a line, you want to get transitions, photochromatics, anti-reflecting coating, if you have prism, globaleyeglasses.com can do all of that, and the prices are there, focused on saving you money. Tell them when you go online at www.globaleyeglasses.com, there's a phone number. Tell them that Ralf Friedrichs sent you. I want to talk about my website. And as you all know, I have included a new website into my collection of websites. TakeYourLifeBackTodayShow.com will be previewing all videos from last week on to whenever I stop doing this. Those videos will be available to you at takeyourlifebacktodaysshow.com. I also have Clear Reform and clearreviews.info. Clearreviews.info has all the information, the 411 on addiction and recovery. That's CLEARVIEWS.info. Clearreform.com is like what Dr. Luis Gonzalez does. I am an addiction recovery coach. CLEARREFORM.com. You can call me at 844-405-HELP. 844-405-HELP. Text me 24/7 at 631-599-0218. Clear Reform, Clear Views, and Take Your Life Back Today show. Reach out to me. Let this information that I have here presented in front of me, that I'm going to be reading to you, 7 common misconceptions about addiction interventions and 7 myths about addiction. They could stop if they wanted to. These are myths. These are all taken from the CDC, and I'm going to read the first 7 misconceptions about addiction interventions. When alcohol or drugs have taken over a loved one's life and they seem reluctant to face the facts about their addiction, sometimes we turn to interventions to help them see that they need help. An intervention is when a group of loved ones, family members, you, me, family, friends, and concerned others gather together to try to help the person see that they need treatment for their addiction. For those who have never been involved in interventions, the process may seem daunting and full of unanswered questions. Many people only have seen drug interventions on televisions or even maybe just in movies, and are not sure what to expect when actual intervention does take place. Here are 7 common misconceptions about drug and alcohol interventions. Number 1. You should wait until a person has hit rock bottom. Rock bottom is often used phrase when discussing addicts and addictive behavior. Many believe that an addict cannot bounce back into sobriety until they have hit extremely low point. The reality is that rock bottom can be difficult to pinpoint. Rather than wait for this vaguely defined time, try to get help for your loved one before things progress for that. Although they say rock bottom it might be a myth, I am totally convinced, and so are many other addiction recovery coaches, therapists, and counselors, that rock bottom is the turning point in someone's life. I don't agree with this, however, it is my job to bring it to you. Number 2, sobriety is possible if an addict is strong enough. Again, we don't have to agree on this topic. I personally believe in my heart, on my own experience, that if you have it here and in your heart, you can do anything. Addiction is a disease rooted in a number of causes. Chemical dependency takes over an addict's brain and changes his or her entire neurological makeup. Addicts need more than just willpower to get sober. Convince them to get help now. I personally believe that if you have the willpower, you can do anything in life. Number 3. Rehab won't work if an addict has already failed it. Just because an addict has relapsed in the past does not mean the treatment will not work. He or simply has to try again. And I always say this, that people will have relapses. I had 6 or 7 relapses, downfalls. But each time, for some reason, with the grace of God, I dusted my knees, pulled myself up, and kept going. Number 4, addicts lack strong morals. Anyone can become an addict. People who are genetically predisposed to addiction are even more likely to become addicts themselves, regardless of character they possess. Number 5, addicts will sever ties when those staging an intervention. Of course, they're going to, when you intervene, they're going to look at you as the bad cop. It is difficult to predict an addict's response to an intervention. Drug and alcohol abuse can make a person unstable, which is why it is always necessary to seek help of professional intervention. Just because an addict gets upset, however, does not mean they will sever ties with you. They will at some point realize that their friends and family are the ones trying to help, and they are there as love towards them. Number 6, intervention should be staged when an addict is under influence. That is absolutely crazy, I think. This is never a good idea. When planning intervention, all possible steps should be taken to ensure the addicts The addict is sober when confronted so they can think clearly. Folks, use common sense when it comes to this, because when somebody is under the influence of drugs and alcohol, how can they even understand what you're saying? A person who's under the influence may be very uh, volatile and will not fully process what is being said to them. Number 7, intervention should be staged by friends and family only. That is a myth. A professional interventionist is a vital part of making sure that intervention is safe and effective. It can be dangerous and very counterproductive to attempt to intervene with an addict without professional help. Always contact a professional interventionist who will help devise a plan to make an intervention as productive and healthy as possible. Those were 7 misconceptions about addiction interventions. These are the 7 again. You should wait until a person has hit rock bottom. According to the CDC, not agreed by me, it is not necessary to wait to hit rock bottom. I personally feel that rock bottom is the turning point in someone's life. Number 2, sobriety is possible if an addict is strong enough. I again don't agree with they're saying that it's all genetic and person doesn't have the will to just stop. And I will tell you, with the grace of God and your strong mind and in your heart, you can overcome anything, including fighting your addiction. Number 3, rehab won't work if an addict has already failed. I totally agree with that. I had 6 or 7 relapses, dusted my knees, pulled myself up, and kept going. And if that's what you do, you will succeed. Addicts lack strong morals. Anyone can become an addict. People who are genetically predisposed. No, in other words, before I even have to read all this, what they're saying is that just because you're addicted, you don't have morals. Totally wrong. An addiction is a disease. Addicts will never will sever ties with those staging intervention. People, when you are trying to help someone, it's like scalding a child. Those children will hate you for quite some time, possibly for a week or 2. But deep down inside, those children know, just like the alcoholic or the drug abuser, know that whoever's intervening is there to help and is there because of love. Intervention should be staged when an addict is under influence. Wrong. The addict needs to be sober to fully comprehend and understand what you're saying. Intervention should be staged by friends and family only. Wrong. Interventions need professional help. Family and friends should be there to help as well. These next 7 myths about addiction, they could stop if they wanted to. These are myths, again, by the CDC. Whether we like to admit it or not, we all have our own ideas of what an addict looks like. Do I look like an addict? I'm addicted to alcohol, but I've learned to live with it. We have our beliefs about why they engage in the behaviors they engage in and why they just won't quit. This is also true for addicts themselves. Often it's difficult to overcome addiction because of the perception of addiction really is. But the truth of addiction is sometimes hidden behind common, long-standing myths. So here are some of the common myths and the real truth about addicts and addiction. Number 1, addicts can stop if they really want to. Research shows that long-term substance use alters brain chemistry. These changes cause intense cravings, impulse control issues, and compulsion to continue to use. Due to these chemical changes, it is difficult for a true addict to quit solely by willpower and determination. But it is possible, because I am pure proof of that, folks. I had no help, whether it being from rehab center, a hospital, medication, or any sponsorship. I have done this on my own. I am proof. They are not saying that is impossible. What they're saying, it's not possible. But there is always a possibility in the impossible, and I am proof. Addicts can't be productive members of society. Many often believe that addicts are unemployed, involved in criminal behaviors, homeless, and have the most interpersonal issues. While this is sometimes true, there are many addicts that continue to function in society and remaining employed, providing for their families, even being involved in family activities, and not appearing to be the addict. I am proof of that. All the years that I was drinking, I think if I tell you maybe 2 or 3 people knew that I was drinking, my wife, my best friend, one of them, 98% of society never knew, because I was productive in my workforce. I was productive in my family activities. So addicts can't be, they cannot, I mean, they can be productive members of society. Addiction only affects those who are weak, uneducated, or have low morals. False. Addiction does not discriminate. It could be a cop. It could be a lawyer. It could be a doctor. It could be an addiction recovery coach that is pretending behind their title not to be an alcoholic. Addiction affects the lives of people of all ages, ethnic backgrounds, cultures, religion, communities, and any economic status. Addiction is not a result of low morals. Often addicts behave in ways that violate their personal beliefs, values, and morals. Addiction is an equal opportunity disease. Anyone is welcome to join addiction. Number 4, addiction is a disease, so there is nothing you can do about it. If your doctor told you that you had cancer, would you not begin necessary treatment, making necessary lifestyle changes? Well, the same applies to addiction. Addiction isn't much different. If you believe in the research that suggests that addiction is a disease of the brain, just because you have the disease of addiction doesn't mean you throw in your towel. Research shows that the brain damage resulting from substance use can sometimes be reversed through not doing the drugs and drinking anymore, therapy, and other forms of treatment, including reaching out to God for guidance and direction. This would be number 6. No, number 5. Addicts who relapse are hopeless. Wrong. I relapsed 6 or 7 times. I sit in front of you as the host of Take Your Life Back Today show, as a person in the optometry field for over 30 years, as a father, as a grandfather, as a husband. I sit before you that it is not hopeless, because I am pure example of what you can accomplish if you really want to. Addiction is a chronic disorder. Just as a pathological liar has to work continuously at being honest, an addict has to commit to working on not using any drugs or alcohol. Addicts are most prone to relapse in the first few months of being clean and sober. A relapse does not constitute as failure. It constitutes, as I always say, as a setback. Processing the events surrounding a relapse can be healthy and an aid to preventing future relapses, because you learn from your mistake. Remember being a child learning how to ride a bike. Every time you fell off, you try to, in your mind, go back of what made you fall off. Same applies to addiction relapses. Number 6, alcohol and drug use cause addiction. There are several factors that help make this a reality to a person becoming addicted to substances. While alcohol and drugs may trigger a substance use problem for some, there are those who drink alcohol and experiment with drug use and never become addicted. Factors that contribute include environmental, emotional, health, mental health, and genetic predisposition changes. Last but not least, addicts should be excused from negative behaviors. I don't agree with this. I haven't even read this part yet. Some may believe since addiction is a disease, addicts should not be held accountable for their actions. This is not true. An addict may not be responsible for their disease, but they are responsible for choices and their recovery. If someone goes to court for DWI and tells the judge, I don't think I should be held responsible for running someone down and possibly killing them because I'm an alcoholic. Wrong. The judge will still throw the book at you. You are responsible, whether you're drunk, whether you're high, you're responsible for your actions in life. It is easy to judge and criticize what we don't understand. You don't have to walk a mile in addict's shoes to understand addictions and addictive behavior. If someone you know is struggling with an addiction, consider learning more about addiction and extend a helping hand instead of hurting words. Let's do a recap on these myths about addiction. They could stop if they want to. Number 1, addicts can stop if they really wanted to. Well, I I don't agree how they describe, but I personally feel that if you have the willpower in your mind and in your heart and the power of Jesus Christ in your life, you can. Addicts can't be productive members of society. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. I have been a productive member of society for as many years as I was a drunk. I was like Superman, one costume for work, one costume for drinking. Addiction only affects those who are weak, uneducated, or have low morals. Wrong. I am not weak. I've always been a strong person as a human, as a Marine, as a husband and a father and a grandfather. I am very educated and I have high morals, but addiction is so powerful that if not faced head on, will overcome your life. Addiction is a disease, so there is nothing you can do about it. Wrong again. Addiction is a disease, but you can do something. I can help take your life back. You just need a great action plan. You need to include God in your life. Addicts who relapse are hopeless. Wrong. I relapsed 6, 7 times. I am not hopeless. Matter of fact, I am the messenger of hope. Not hopeless, but the messenger of hope. I will bring you each and every day the hope that there is hope for you. Alcohol and drug use cause addiction. It can if you over consume it. Just like eating candy, food. Addiction doesn't stop with one category. You can get addicted to anything. You can get addicted to, there are some people that pornography. You can get addicted to anything. What I want you to get addicted to, the only one thing I'm asking you to get addicted to, is the Word of God. Be addicted to God. Addicts should be excused from negative behaviors. Wrong. You are responsible for no matter what you do in life, whether you're addicted or not, you are responsible. If someone you know is struggling from an addiction, consider learning more about the addiction and helping these people instead of giving them harmful words that you might. Don't tell people that you know that have an addiction that they are useless and they are worth nothing. Instead, tell them, I am here to help you. I will help you by finding someone that will help you. Tell them that God loves them. Tell them that there is life beyond alcohol and or drugs. Folks, if you are struggling with drugs and alcohol today, December 20th, could be the first day of your new life. If you do one thing first and then the other, there are 2 things you have to do. Admit you have a problem, folks. Once you do that, it's a weight being lifted from your chest. Because once you admit you have a problem, then you can set a recourse, an action plan for future. But you have to do number 2. You have to reach for God and ask Him for guidance and direction. Your life wouldn't have crumbled if you were able to do these things on your own. So God will, upon request, come into your life and help you each and every way. Once you have conquered those 2 things, folks, now it's time to come up with an action plan. Should you try Ralph's way, which is continuous education? It is such an easy method that I have invented that by continuously educating yourself and continuously reaching out to other people to help them, you can overcome your disease of addiction. What does that mean, continue educating yourself? That means it's not like AA. That's all that means. It's not an hour and a half a day and the rest of the day is just to willy-nilly around town. It is continuously educating yourself. I never stopped thinking about my situation, my addiction to alcohol. It starts like right now at 6:30 in the morning today to do this video. But it really started yesterday already when I had to get the program ready for this video, for this show. I had to do the research to get the 7 common misconceptions about addiction intervention and the 7 myths about addiction. I had to get it together. That took hours. To do this show now is taking me an hour. And then to process the show, edit this show, get the show ready. Takes me another 4 or 5 hours. This is my method. It is also reaching out to people via social networking, via all my websites, and now I have over 15 websites, addiction websites, treatment centers, organizations that preview my shows on their websites. That is my method. It is reaching out, branching out. What started as a little twig, which was me, my first day in recovery, has now blossomed into a mini tree, and it will continuously blossom into a bigger tree. Every time I branch out to something new, whether it's new websites, whether it's new social networks, whether it's new clients, whether it's new viewers, you, my audience, I am promoting my method. Or you can go to AA, because some people need a structured method. They need to know that today and tomorrow and next week at 7:30, I need to go to one place and sit there for an hour and a half and then go home. I am not criticizing AA. It has helped many people. But I will tell you this statistics, and this is a proven fact. 5% succeed the first year in AA. 5%. That means it has a 95% dropout rate. When you need to go somewhere every day at a certain time, you have become a sheep that just follows the shepherd. With my method, you can do whatever you want to do as long as it is in the realm of addiction recovery. Do whatever you want. Come up with your own plan. It works. You might not even want to go to AA. You might need something so supervised, like a treatment center, like a rehab center. Maybe you need to go for 30, 60, 90 days. Okay, that's not a problem either. But whether it's my method, AA, or any type of other methods, one thing when you are not only going through it, but completing certain ones, you can never ever go back to your old abusive days. Never. And you need to, no matter which method you choose, you need to reach out to God and ask Him for guidance and direction. You will be amazed by the results you will see once God comes into your life. And they are not immediate results. But eventually you'll see your skin and health start looking better. You will see your financials getting better. You will see your spiritual well-being getting better. You will actually want to go out and help other people to build your self-esteem up. You will be concerned about your neighbors, about your friends, and about your family that you were never before you stopped drinking or doing drugs and reached out to God. Those are just some samples of what you are in for by doing the two things and the sayings, I have a problem and I need help and I want to reach out to God. Call me 844-405-HELP. Text me 631-599-0218. Go to any one of my websites, clearviews.info, clearreform.com, takeyourlifebacktodayShow.com. Go to all social networks. Just go to the search bar on Google, Dig, Yahoo, Bing. Type in Take Your Life Back Today Show with Ralf Friedrichs, and you will see almost 280 videos. I have completed over 280 shows, folks. And it's because of you, my audience, that drives me to keep going. We will be doing a show with Brandon, my friend up in Bethel, Alaska, where we're going to ask each other, I believe it's 5 or 10 questions. He's going to ask me and I'm going to ask him, and those questions are going to be answered. These questions were actually given by you, the audience. I've read a few already. I've given him the list of questions that people have sent me, and he gets to choose some questions, and we will address that. But that's my friend Brandon Waper up in Bethel, Alaska. So stay tuned for that. And I just want to tell you, folks, a sober today, I promise, will give you a better tomorrow. And if you believe whatever you want to do in life, in your heart and in your mind, it will happen. Let the sunshine come into your heart and your home, and positive things will happen. And please stay away from the negativity, stay away from the naysayers. And if you're watching me from jail, a homeless shelter, possibly even a nursing home, there is hope for you for a better tomorrow. Hope like family coming to visit you. Hope like possibly even seeing this show. Hope more than anything is for you to reach up to God. Ask God for guidance and direction, and you will see unbelievable amount of changes. But it starts with you. I count on you to please change your life today. And I count on you to let me help you take your life back. Thank you so much. Remember, have a sober today, but more importantly, God bless you. Take care.